And this seems to have some similarities with Confucius Eastern ethical approaches that have to do with community and sharing and common goals, things like that. But it seems like the two biggest ones that we look at least in the West, is the debate between utilitarianism and deontology. It's also called consequence. I mean, they aren't synonymous with the terms consequentialism and duty-based, but for our purposes, it's pretty much the same. Consequentialism and duty-based ethics is pretty much the same as utilitarianism and deontology. So, what do these words mean? Utilitarianism is also referred to as a moral calculus. It boils down to the idea that that right and wrong boils down to pain and pleasure. Not in a completely hedonistic sense. I mean, that that the greatest good comes from, that the right answer comes by doing the greatest good for the greatest number of people with the least amount of pain. So, in that you can quantify this. And it sounds like a rational, it sounds like a good, and it doesn't derive from it. And this would be a non-absolutist approach. So, I mean, it would mean that every decision has to be tailor-made to the situation. The problem with this is that, you run into bad situations where you say you've got 5 people in an emergency room, 5 very productive members of society, a doctor, a very famous entertainer, a very accomplished scholar, people that are very useful to society, and one person that's a common worker that does a job that pretty much anybody can do. And these other 5 people need organs, and this person is healthy. I mean, would it be okay to kill this person to give these 5 people organs? I mean, that's one argument against utilitarianism. Just on the face of it, that you just know that's not right, and it's obvious it's not right. And no utilitarian would say, "Yeah, of course you should kill him." So that's a problem with utilitarian. But it's not that simple. I mean, there are utilitarian people that take this approach, have arguments out to say, well, a society like that would become chaotic because people would get angry and that would cause pain, and so there are ways outside of that. But it's still a problem because it just seems on the face of it that you can't just calculate everything. That there seem to be some issues that are just kind of fundamental. They're not calculable. They're not just a matter of the greatest good or pain and pleasure. And this other approach is deontology, duty-based. That says that duty is what's important. If I make a promise, it doesn't matter how much pain it's going to cause me to meet my promise to someone else. It doesn't matter if it's going to cause them less pain for me to break my promise than it's going to cause me to make it. I made the promise, it's my duty to make it, and I should make it. Because that's the most important thing. And so, and there are, varying arguments for why that approach is better than utilitarianism. And I think probably the reason we look at those two more than others is because it kind of looks at the duty-based, looks at rights, the rights of the rights of people, the deontological approach to privacy is more in line with the Europeans' approach to privacy, and the utilitarian tends to be more in line with the American approach to information privacy, which seems kind of strange. You would think it would be kind of switched due to our kind of America seems to be more individual and more individual rights based, and so you would think that it would be more deontological. I don't know. That's just me thinking out loud. But anyway, so moving on. In applied ethics, we'll be looking at the case study book, the Buchanan-Henderson book. Hopefully, everybody has these being sent to them, and that they will be here soon. This first few weeks, hopefully you can just kind of read what you have and the links that I've given you until these arrive, until your books arrive. And there are some case studies in the Tavini book as well. Unfortunately, I didn't realize there was a third edition of the Tavini book, Tavani book. And so I had everybody just get the second edition. Hopefully we're not missing out on too much from the third edition and in the bookstore. And if you got the third edition, I mean, and if there are any problems with the reading, just let me know. I don't think there should be, though. And so some of the things we'll be looking at in class, some of the issues, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but we'll be looking at, like I said, does information ethics warrant its own field of study? One big issue is, protection versus freedom in cyberspace. Does protection of privacy and information property take precedence over freedom of speech or of information, or vice versa? We'll be looking at, like I said, the first 2 weeks we just kind of look at the foundations of ethics and philosophy, like I've been talking about this. That's kind of the purpose of this lecture. And I'm going to get into the tools in just a minute of argument. And the Tavani book, chapters 2 and 3, should help you with this. And it gives you the theory. Chapter 3 is actually the tool, actually gives you the logic and tools for argument. Chapter 2 talks about the ethical theories. So